So no look past the former Dallas wing, Natasha Howard, in her 8th.
Into potential civil rights violations with regards to how the WNBA, its leadership, and its players are treating the Golden Goose, Caitlin Clark. Apparently, there's some jealousy that might be manifesting itself into physical inappropriate contact. The WNBA just got caught red-handed protecting the wrong players while their biggest star gets destroyed on live television. And what league officials did when the cameras stopped rolling will make you question everything you thought you knew about professional sports. The league has fostered a hostile workplace for Miss Clark's excessive fing. Yeah, that's targeting and hostile comments from other players and owners. Miss Clark's targeting may reflect a culture of disparate treatment. Here's what nobody's talking about. Caitlin Clark saved the entire WNBA from complete irrelevance. Merchandise sales exploded 600%. App downloads shot up 600%. Subscriptions jumped 400%. Her team tripled in value overnight. She's literally the reason anyone cares about women's basketball right now. Got people that are resentful towards her but not she. It's really not about her, guys. It's about what she represents. So how did the league repay her? They let her absorb 17% of all flagrant fouls in the entire league as a rookie. Think about that. One player out of 144 took 17% of the most brutal hits the sport dishes out. That's double the rate of anyone else. This isn't basketball. This is systematic targeting with a basketball uniform on. But here's where it gets absolutely insane. The WNBA didn't just allow this targeting. They actively protected the players doing it while throwing Caitlin Clark under the bus. You know, there's a very small number of men and women that actually get to live out their dream of playing the professional sport, and we have grown-ass men and women out here doing whatever they can to try to make sure that does not happen. That is the weirdest thing in the world, but it is what it is. And I'm glad that Caitlin has a great head on her shoulder. Let's start with the Kennedy Carter body check that shocked the basketball world. Carter straight up blindsided Clark, away from the ball, knocked her to the ground like a linebacker making a tackle. The hit was so brutal that social media went crazy calling it out. Chicago's Kennedy Carter shoulder checking the Fever's Caitlin Clark, knocking her to the ground. The call initially deemed a common foul by officials, but here's the kicker. The referees called it a common foul. Caitlin Clark is being fouled at a wrecked rate. Some of them are brutal fouls, and a lot of the refs are looking the other way. And the women fouling her are doing it on purpose. A common foul. You know what happened next? Angel Reese jumped off the bench, celebrating like her teammate just won the championship. They were celebrating, injuring the league's biggest star. The refs didn't even review it. They acted like body checking someone away from the ball was just normal basketball. The league had to upgrade it to a flagrant foul later because the backlash was so intense. But did Carter get suspended? Did she get fined? Absolutely not. She told reporters she had no regrets about the hit and said she was just competing. Do you have any regrets on how it happened and everything that's happened since then? I don't have any regrets with anything. I'm going to compete and play 100% hard no matter who it is, like I said, or who we're playing. No, I don't have any regrets. Imagine if an NFL player said they had no regrets about a cheap shot that could end someone's career. They'd be gone for weeks. But the WNBA, they let her keep playing like nothing happened. Then came the Marina Mabrey incident that proved the league had completely lost control. I mean, is that displacement? I think it is. Oh, and Marina May is going to get ejected. If the officials, Clark got poked in the eye by J.C. Sheldon, and while she's trying to recover, Marina May shoves her to the ground for absolutely no reason. This wasn't during play. This wasn't basketball. This was straight-up assault, while Clark was vulnerable. The referees, they gave everyone technical fouls like it was just a normal scuffle. They treated the victim the same as the aggressor. It took the league upgrading it to a flagrant to the next day to admit they screwed up, but guess what? Still, no suspension for Mabrey. Here's what makes this so twisted. Every time these incidents happened, the referees protected the wrong players. They called common fouls on plays that should have been flagrant. They gave equal punishments to Clark and her attackers. They acted like the person getting targeted was just as responsible as the people doing the targeting. The Chicago Sky turned targeting Clark into a team sport. 4 flagrant fouls in 4 games against 1 player. That's not competitive basketball. That's coordinated harassment. When Angel Reese is jumping off the bench celebrating cheap shots on your biggest star, You've got a culture problem that goes way beyond individual incidents, but the most damning evidence is what the referees didn't call. Rebecca Lobo, former player and current analyst, pointed out that the 17% flagrant foul number only counts the fouls that actually got called. We know how much Caitlin drives ratings. We know how much Caitlin drives attention on the WNBA, and for her to come back and do it in that way, she's been tracking all the missed calls, all the cheap shots that got ignored, all the times officials looked the other way when Clark got targeted. If someone actually audited every dirty play that should have been called but wasn't, that 17% number would explode through the roof. Think about how insane this is. In any other professional sport, when a rookie superstar is getting targeted at rates that high, the league steps in immediately. They issue warnings. They hand out suspensions. They make it clear that their stars are off limits for cheap shots. The WNBA did the opposite. They normalized the targeting. They protected the aggressors. They made Caitlin Clark fight for basic safety while everyone pretended this was just physical basketball. Meanwhile, A'ja Wilson, 3-time league MVP, is making public statements that Clark's success and attention absolutely has to do with race and that it boils her blood when people try and say it's not about race. When league superstars are making this about race publicly, the targeting isn't happening in a vacuum. LeBron James had to speak up because even he couldn't believe what he was watching. The greatest basketball player of this generation called out grown-ass men and women who were trying to destroy someone's professional dreams out of pure spite. When LeBron has to defend a WNBA rookie from her own league, you know something is fundamentally broken. The numbers don't lie. Clark faced more flagrant fouls than any other rookie in WNBA history. She absorbed targeting at rates that would be unthinkable for superstars in any other professional league.
Players that Dallas has on offense out of those actions, and I think that's where Dallas has to.
The statistical disparity is so extreme that legal experts are calling it evidence of a hostile work environment. But here's what really exposes the WNBA's priorities. They spent more time managing public relations than protecting their biggest asset. Every time one of these incidents blew up on social media, their response wasn't to address the targeting. It was to downplay the significance and wait for the story to die down. If Caitlin Clark's civil rights has been broken, right, what does that mean? That means that Caitlin Clark is damn near me going to own the WNBA because she's going to have a super duper lawsuit. Bro, this is a league that claims to care about player safety while allowing their most valuable player to get systematically brutalized. They talk about growing the game while enabling behavior that drives away the exact fans Clark brought to women's basketball. Federal investigators have stepped into sports before when player safety and institutional integrity were at stake. They got involved with baseball's steroid scandal. They stepped in during the NFL concussion crisis. They took action with USA Gymnastics when systematic abuse was exposed, and they come to a conclusion that they believe she is being unfairly treated. That is going to be a problem for the WNBA. Caitlin Clark's situation has all the red flags that triggered federal intervention in those cases. Statistical evidence of desperate treatment. Public statements indicating discriminatory motivation. Institutional failure to address obvious safety concerns. The WNBA had their Michael Jordan moment. They had their Tiger Woods walking through the door, ready to transform their entire sport. Instead of embracing this once-in-a-generation talent, they let jealousy and resentment turn their savior into a target. They chose to protect the feelings of players who felt threatened by Clark's success over the safety and career of the person who was literally saving their jobs. They normalized systematic targeting while pretending it was just competitive basketball. The evidence is overwhelming. The pattern is undeniable. The WNBA created a hostile work environment for their biggest star while protecting the players who were systematically targeting her. This isn't just about basketball. This is about what happens when jealousy and resentment are allowed to corrupt professional competition. This is about institutional failure on a scale so massive that federal investigators might have to step in and fix what the WNBA refuses to address. Caitlin Clark deserved protection. She deserved the same treatment that superstars in every other professional league receive. Instead, she got systematic targeting, referee incompetence, and league officials who cared more about managing controversy than ensuring player safety. The WNBA had everything they ever wanted walking through their door. Instead of celebrating it, they tried to destroy it, and when the full truth comes out, when investigators start reviewing all the footage and communications, the evidence is going to be even more damning than what we can see right now. But wait, it gets even worse. Remember DJ Carrington's eye poke on Clark during the playoffs? The one that gave Clark a black eye and looked completely intentional on replay. The referees didn't even call it a foul. Despite the evident poke, it was